Hey, welcome back. You're listening to the weekend edition of the Korelin Economics Report. I'm Al Korelin. Appreciate you joining me. This is a combination video audio, so for those of you who are wondering, just watching the video, why I'm introducing the segment on the radio show, it's because we're going to air this both places. I've got an old friend with me right now, George Brown. I have known George for, oh gosh, going back to 1995 or whatever. George was involved with a company, Corner-Based Silver. We became friends. George was basically their finance guy, their accounting guy. We became friends. George went out on his own, started a company called MacMillan Minerals. Big Al, I have to say, in the interest of full disclosure, is an investor in MacMillan, bought a fair amount of stock in it a number of years ago. Going to give you an update, so that's, in terms of full disclosure, there it is. I'm not unbiased. I am very, very definitely biased in this case. I went out and bought the stock, so it's, take that one for what it's worth. Also remember, Big Al doesn't write checks unless he thinks he's going to get a good return. Having said that, George, what's going on with MacMillan? Now you're going to be trading, if I'm not mistaken, during February.
By February, we hope to have a TSX Venture listing. We're trading now in the CNSX as MMX. We've been listed since September 14, 2010, but we find that it's time now to get a listing on TSX Venture. Mm-hmm. A lot of our shareholders are US based from the predecessor company, MacMillan Gold.
Yep.
A lot of them were referred by Dave Morgan, or also a good friend of ours. And the US brokers just don't find the CNSX as something that they have easy access to.
Right.
So we want to be back on the TSX Venture. Our listing application is in, it's been reviewed. They've come back with some items they wanted to see from us. They wanted an update 43-101 report on the property. We've provided that. They provided their comments on it. We've provided a revision with taking into account those comments. They wanted a few other things. They wanted the directors had options at 5 cents. They said their minimum is 10. They wanted them repriced. The insiders exercised all 3.7 million warrant options that we have. So there's a lot of management support for the company. Management owned 19.9% of the shares. We did a financing in September that you were in, of 2010. The warrants for that were at 8. They asked that we reprice those to 10. We've received 100% consent from our warrant holders to reprice those to 10. We value our investors and shareholders. We've extended those by 18 months, added 18 months to them as a thank you for that, losing that 2 cents, and we hope to more than make up for that 2 cents.
Oh, we'll more than make up for it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the properties themselves. Start out with any place you want to go.
Well, in June 2011, we bought a property outright in Nayarit State. That's a part of our Lac Chairs property. That's our property in merit for listing. We purchased this property from a Mexican landowner. We paid 150,000 pesos outright for it. 100%, no royalty, no work commitments. We bought it because there was underground tunnels in it, and we own the property surrounding it. And those tunnels would provide us with valuable geology on what our target is. We've gone in the tunnels, we sampled the entire underground tunnels, and we released the results September 15, 2011. And what we have is we have a main vein that we've sampled along 71 meters, and we have over 3 grams of gold and over 280 grams of silver, average along the entire 71 meter length. So we have a drill plan to drill it 3 locations along the length of the tunnel, but to hit 50 to 60 meters below the tunnel workings so that we hit what's not mined out. Those grades I gave you are a sample of what they left behind. I'm quite interested in seeing what the ore body looks like, the kind of grades and intercept we'll get where we hit virgin material. And we're permitted to do that drilling as soon as this financing closes and we have our TSX Venture listing.
In terms of the size of the financing, et cetera, where's that going to put you capital-wise?
The financing is very moderate. One of the listing requirements is a sponsor report from a broker, or there's an exemption for doing a minimum $500,000 brokered financing because the exchange looks at that due diligence as sufficient. So we're doing a $500,000 minimum to get that exemption. And that is enough money for us to immediately go out and do this 3-hole 500-meter drill program. And we think those results will put us at a double or triple current, and then we'll go out and get a more serious financing behind us.
George, who's involved with you aside from yourself?
Well, our CEO is Tom Skimming. The man's been in the business as many years as I've been alive. He was actually one of the discoverers of the Carlton Lake gold mines and territories that I was controller of. That's how I met Tom.
Yeah.
He's been in mining forever. He's a very good man. He's on our board. Our audit chairman, Greg Van Staveren, excellent qualifications for audit chairman. He was a mining partner of KPMG in Toronto. And Wayne Valiant is our technical chairman. Wayne is the Senior Vice President of Exploration for Roscoe Pascal. They're a large consulting firm in Toronto.
So basically what we've got here is we have a company with a property in Mexico.
Yep.
We have a company that has about $500,000. Yep. Basically the company is at the starting line, for lack of better terms. So you're at the starting line, you got enough ammunition to get the first 100 yards. Tell me about future plans. How are we going to get past that?
Our goal is, as you're aware from the Corner Bay, we made a discovery and we sold that company to Pan American.
Yeah.
Our goal is to repeat that. Our goal will be to raise enough money on the next financing with Mackey Research to take our property Lac of Charis. These tunnels are only on a very, very small portion of the 5,200 hectare property we have. We plan on expanding that to a resource within the next few years and getting it to where it's attractive for a major producer to buy us out, as we have in the past.
So basically what we have here is we have a complete startup with some very, very, and I don't mean that in any sense in a derogatory sense. We have a company that's at square one right now. You've got, I would have to say, how much capital right now? You've got over 500. Well,
yeah, we have just under $1 million.
$1 million, okay. You've got a very competent technical team, okay. It strikes me that this is for people who are interested in getting in on a ground floor. Here's one you might want to take a look at. Now, I want to stress this is not investment advice because I'm not a registered investment advisor. I got involved in MacMillan when David Morgan and I and George were having dinner in Toronto about a year ago, I guess it was. I listened to what David had to say. I listened to what George had to say. I considered George's background, and I ended up writing a check shortly thereafter. Remember, this is not investment advice. I'm just telling you what I did. I find little companies like this to be very, very intriguing because oftentimes the batter will hit the ball out of the ballpark. Big Al's going to be right back with you with some more insights.